Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Mordechai. Welcome back. What do you say today? No, I mean like Isru Chag. You know, it's still Yontif in America, right? I forgot to warn the Olim in America not to drop out during a 2-day Yontif, but I forgot. Okay. Rabbi, so we're back to the emails. Huh? Yeah. The Yontif of Torah. Charlie Side. Dear Rav Shlita, just a note from another Talmud. I started with you during Masechtas Rosh Hashanah. I've written to you and met you several times in Tannersville, Woodmere, for Rockaway, and explained that I'd been out of learning any Gemara for 50 years. And partook of my first siyum thanks to you. This has been a true miracle for me through you. I'm also a road warrior. See picture of a typical hotel room on the road. On the road 3 to 4 days a week, including this week. On the road Monday and hope to rush back to Tannersville for Shavuos Minyanim. Guys. Donnie. Shh. I'm writing to tell you how important your shir is. Donnie, how many years has this person been out of Torah?
50,000.
Wow, he's listening. He's listening. Good. I'm writing to tell you how important your shir is to me and other road warriors. We go to hotel room after hotel room, but the only constant is the 4 or 5 a.m. We take out the overnight unedited version of the daf and learn with you. It makes it, for me at least, remember who I am and what I represent. Starts my day off in ruchnis and gashmis even before I daven shacharis. Your daf shir makes me act the way I should and lasts until the next morning when I can do it all again, making this kind of travel possible for me to make a living for my family. Living in hotels is a disaster. It's very, very, very difficult. No yidden. I've done it a few times. Like there's no minyanim and food, and you're eating nash the whole day. It's going back to empty hotel room. Terrible. So he says the daf keeps him anchored, and he has to do this for hadassah. So not just easy way after Shabbos and on Sunday, but during the grueling week that doing the daf with you enables Yidden to keep Yiddishkeit going. All my love and respect. Thank you, Charlie Side. Here's a picture of a typical hotel room. This is how you do a daf on a little... I showed this picture, but here it is in large. A younger man from Skver, my age, making a siyum, meaning like 35 or so. He finished Talmud with Kina and Sechta, but his first cheshik for learning came from attending our big siyum we made in Muncie for Megillah. He called me to invite me to the siyum and thank me. This younger man sent him a voice note. I heard the voice note and he said something beautiful. Maybe I'll try to remember something like this. He said, when you dig a well, a very, very deep well, so you bring in people and another guy, finally you get to the water. He says, I got to the water, but in order to get to the water, I needed Mo Landy to introduce me to the shir. I needed Eli Stefansky to give the shir. I needed many people to dig the well for me, but I got to the water finally. Hello, I really liked what Reb Eli did in today's daf. It shows leadership and persistence. I'm donating 30 Gemaras in honor of Reb Eli, who donated 60 Gemaras, and in honor of the guy whose name was not mentioned, who donated 360 Gemaras, so 300 Gemaras. Chazak, Ubaruch, and Chag Sameach. If you're putting donors' names inside the Gemara, I'll tell you what to write. Thank you, Moshe, Chef, Moshe Ben Yair. Lana Devorah hadassah was discharged today. I said that. And this person is very disappointed that I think that I'm a leyutzlach because the only shidduch I made was the zal. It's not a reason to give up. Just like you push for Gemara shidduchim, it's important to push for regular shidduchim. The 6 million we lost need to be replaced as the population will explode, so will Torah learning. A Rebbe of tens of thousands of Talmidim is the greatest form of our Butz Torah and Emiris Hashem. You should be zoich to continue attracting thousands more. Bevigas Chag Sameach, Duvid Reich, your Talmud from Beitza. Shkoyach Reb Duvid. You know what? His name is Duvid with a U, so I'll say Talmud from Beya. Coming here, shir from Reb Eli Stefansky live in person in Manchester, Monday, the 24th at 7 p.m. at Steincourt Shul, and in the Diamond Hall in London on Tuesday. London happens to be the Siyum, In Manchester, I apologize. It was 5 lines away from the siyum, so it's not going to be a siyum because we're in England, and if you're not mamish on the daf, it doesn't count. So siyum in small letters, please make sure it's not in here. Here. With a magnifying glass, maybe we could see. Let me see if I could. I can't zoom in. Something's wrong with the screen. They'll be making early. See, early. The key word here is early. Let's take a look. Everybody together. Open up to Daf Kuf Yotes and see what they're talking about. Yeah, it's early talking here. Let me show. I'll show the island here. This is the final daf. We're doing the siyum 10 lines before. I'm not making fun of you guys. I am. Okay. We love them anyway. We're going there. We're going to early siyum. And did I show this in the English here yet? Peretz Chaim Levine on Sparks of a Nation. Last night was what daf? Kufay. Okay, fine. We're not going to show it again. This is a beautiful email, but it's in Hebrew. So you know what? I Dov Yurovich from Neria. That's how you pronounce it? Neria. No. Neria. I think he's an attorney. Maybe he could translate this email to English, and I'll read it in English. I think it'll be a lot better than me translating like this, and or Google Translate. He's a lawyer. He knows how to write. We're holding Daf Amud Beis by the Mishnah. Here's a question, an interesting thing to think about. I think this is the Yesod. We're going to learn a Yesod. Huh? Where? Who did? Yeah. I'm talking about the Mishnah Daf Amud Beis in the bottom. Oh, and Shua, it doesn't go by what we learned. It goes by what we learned on the recorded. We got to record. Here's a question. Should a person daven, Hashem, give me everything I'm missing? Or Hashem, give me a car that I could drive in? How do you daven? Or Hashem, get me a car. Hashem, give me everything I'm missing. No, what do you guys say? Huh? Give me what I need, says Jonathan Stefansky. Whoa, were you at the shir? Were you at a shir? No? Okay, good. What do you say? You argue with them. How do you know? So you shouldn't mention a car. You should mention anything I need. Both of you are in agreement. The 2 red shirts in the room, they're both in agreement. Gevaldik. I don't know, is that maroon? I don't know what okay, fine. We're going to see that they're absolutely wrong, and it's a very important lesson in tefillah. It's geschmack, seriously. That when you daven, as we'll see, you have to be very, very specific for what you daven. And general tefillah is not very good. Maybe there should be general tefillahs, but it's much better to daven specific. Another interesting question: if I'm a sharecropper and the owner of the field tells me, "Hey, Eli, I'll let you sharecrop, but I want you to plant barley. Barley is not so hard on the field," and I think to myself, you know what? Let me plant the wheat. We'll make a lot more money. It'll be a little rougher on the field. I'll take away more nutrients and whatever. It's going to be tough on the guy's field, but I can make more money. What l'chayra, based on logic, you would say, I'm not allowed to do so, right? That's what you think. And that's what we're going to learn today, that in fact you could, because it's better for the owner. Interesting. So we're holding by the Mishnah, Daf Amud Beis. Ha-mekabel sada mechaveroi. So, just to remind the Olam, we're talking these sugyas, as Reb Papa mentioned, the Mishnah could either be talking about a kablan, who's a sharecropper, or a chaycher, but not both. So from now, the last Mishnah is, and today we're going to have, no, it wasn't today. This is the third one that we had on this daf. We started out with chaycher, we went to Aris, we're back to chaycher. Chaycher is somebody who pays a set amount to use the field. Mishnah Kuf Amud Beis on the bottom. Somebody is a chaycher and it was hit by this. This is gevaldik. Check this out. It's really gross. It looks like wheat, but those are a bunch of grasshoppers destroying the crop. Each one has a grasshopper. Yeah. Shidafa means the wheat was broken by the wind. If this is a calamity that happened to many people around, let's see what that means. He could get his money back. He made a deal that he's gonna use this field for a year. He's gonna pay X amount, but nobody's able to use their field. Give me my money back. I'm thinking to myself, let's say I rent a zimmer up north. I prepaid, and Rahman al-Islan, over 100,000 people are displaced, maybe more. I don't know the number. The whole north is empty now because of the missiles coming in. Yesterday, 160 missiles. What? 215. 215 missiles in one day. So, do I get my money back or not? L'chayra, it's a makas Medina. This is literally makas Medina's Yisrael. And you get your money back. But if it's not a general zetz, then you don't get your money back. If the deal was money, so remember when I said the word chachayroi and I explained it could be money, it could be fruit, so somebody in the back yelled at me, no, it's only fruit. So here you see, if there's money involved, and the Gemara says mefurish, begach here, the Mishnah says, money and chachayroi go together. Fine. Why? Because it's your money that took the hit. Sometimes we look at it as a mazel of the land that took the hit. Over here, no, it's your cash that took the hit, and therefore you don't go back to the owner of the field to get a refund. Says the Gemara, what does it mean? It was a general calamity. Most of the 51% of the valley that you're in, they also incurred a loss. The 4 fields around your field, they also took a hit. So it's not you, it's everybody. Okay, it's everybody. 4 people is enough. 4 fields is enough. Get your money back. They asked in Eretz Yisrael, what if it's not the full field? Instead of a full field around you, you have something like this, Reb Eli, here it is. It's 1 plow's worth all around your field. The yellow represents a destroyed field. There's nothing growing there. Everybody else is green, but there are other fields the size of, let's say, 10 feet by 10, whatever the width of a plow is, 6 feet, whatever it is. Now, if you say that's enough to be considered that everybody else is suffering through the same thing you're suffering, what if the opposite happened? Everything is destroyed. Yesterday, I was skipping like crazy. I'm getting into a habit over here. What if there's... What? I'm okay or you're okay? Didn't read it. Okay. What if it is planted all the way around your yellow field? Does that take away from the makas Medina? You see, everybody else has terrible fields further away. What if the fields around you are barren? Nobody planted in them. Could you prove from that there are other fields further away that are actually going through the same thing you're going through? Aspastamai, what if they are growing, but they're only growing food for animals? Is that considered that they're going through the same thing as you? Zera'acharmai, what if they planted beans over there? If you're going to tell me yes, what about barley, which is very similar to wheat? Is that considered? Nothing is growing there, but for different reasons. Can we combine different reasons? They are going through this wind storm that cracked all the wheat and destroyed it, and you're going through something else. You're going through the drought. You're going through drought. This is Yerakoin. Fine. I don't know. Yeah, this is a little bit of a drought. Destroyed, basically destroys the wheat. It dries out when it's still very dry. You could go with it if you just pick it and and that happens, that means it dry. It's basically like what we have over here, really dry, straight out of the ground, is not very good. So, teku, my teku. Omar lei zarachite. What if the owner tells the sharecropper guy or the chaycher, I want you to plant wheat. Vazalu v'zarasari. He didn't listen. He planted barley, which produces, you make less income. Vishtaduf ruba de bago, vishtaduf nami hanach sari delay. Everybody's field all around in the whole neighborhood, they all had a problem. Everything's destroyed. And his also was destroyed. But he didn't listen to the guy. He was told to plant wheat, and he planted barley. Mai. The sharecropper could say to the owner, what's the difference what I planted? Everybody, look around. Hundreds of fields all over, they're all destroyed. So what's the difference what I planted? I would have planted wheat, I would have been destroyed like everybody else. Rabbi Isai listened to this, and this is Yisoid Godel Ma'od. Oidilma, or perhaps, once the Omar lay, Ilu Zarat Chitei, have a Mekayim B. No? You know what? I daven to Hashem on Rosh Hashanah, and I said, Hashem, help me with my wheat. Have a Mekayim B, Vatigzar Oimer ve'yakim lach. HaKadosh Baruch Hu would have listened to my tefillah. So, Stabra the Omar lay, Izarat Chitei have a Mekayim B, Vatigzar Oimer ve'yakim lach. No, he has a great taina. Why didn't you listen to me? I davened for wheat. My wheat would have been okay. The reason why it was destroyed is because you didn't plant what I davened for. You planted something similar to wheat, but not wheat. You planted barley. That's why everybody around, all the fields are destroyed. They didn't daven. I davened for my wheat. And the Gemara says that's a good enough claim not to pay him back. It's unbelievable. So first of all, you see over here, when you see that everybody else is suffering and everybody this, and everybody, it's not matzliach for other people, you could be different than everybody else through tefillah. But there's a beautiful tzadik here, I think the Adelman should see, 3 lines from the bottom of the Amud. V'yeshloimar, the Shmuel Mayri ki goyin sh'amalei, is rak kol ma shetirtza. When the owner says this later on, plant whatever you want. Over there, you can no longer say, I could have davened. Listen to this. When a person says something general, Hashem, please give me parnasa, it's not going to work. You have to be very specific. Give me parnasa in this business, in this thing, in wheat, not barley. If you said, Hashem, please help me grow something in my field, not enough. To be very specific.
This is an
Hold on. And we don't say what we said before that I would have davened and Hashem would have listened. When I daven for something very specific, then the tefillah works. And if I don't daven specific, says Taisus, what a crazy side for life. To be very, very specific. This is Yerushalmi that says that a guy was in the desert and he davened, Hashem, give me a donkey. So the kingdom, they had one of the donkeys gave birth to a baby donkey, and they see this guy walking in the desert. They said, you carry the donkey. In other words, because he didn't daven, Hashem, give me a donkey to ride on. He said, give me a donkey? I gave you a donkey here. Now you carry the donkey. Bring it over there. Masha, you go to somebody's house for Shabbos, right? Everybody knows. You don't say, everything was excellent. Everything's excellent means everything was so-so. I'm like everybody else. You say, the gefilte fish was out of this world. Specifically, the dessert. Now you're talking. Now it's more. Or a lot of people say, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give you a bracha and b'chol anyanim. B'chol anyanim means 0. You say something very specific. You should have good health, good parnasa. Now you're talking. That's what Taisa says over here. No? Bua. Yeah, okay. There's an interesting maisa that brought down that a bacher in yeshiva, I think he was talking about a few, back a little bit, back in the day, Bachar Yeshiva got very sick. And the Yeshiva made a decision not to tell the mother that they're going to take care of the Bachar, they're going to try to nurse him back to health. They brought him to the hospital, they stayed by his bedside, the whole thing. The Bachar was nifter. So when the mother found out about it, she said she's not Moichel the Yeshiva forever, because had she known, she could have davened. And tefillah of a mother goes a long way. My tefillah could have worked. It's a time in the Gemara. To the point that we take money out of somebody, or we don't take money out of somebody, we don't give money to someone because of it. So the Gemara, what were you saying, Rabbi?
This is an Arasur
Chacher, we're talking about so far.
He's still viewed as my crop, your crop. The guy owes you $100 a month.
Yeah, no, but it's your field, your mazel. There, we're going to go into it right here. Here we go. Right, let's go. Two lines and we'll figure it out. All the fields of the owner, they're no good this year. They're not producing anything. And this guy, this chacher guy, he also, his field no good. However, the neighbors' fields are doing well. Do we go by the neighbors and therefore you don't get your money back because the neighbors is doing well? All the owners' fields went. The choicher could say to the machkir, it's your bad luck. Look at this. All your fields are no good. You have fields in Iowa, you have fields in Minnesota, they're all no good. So that's why this field right over here is no good. Now that answers what you're saying, Reb Akiva. No, you're right. There's something called mazel, my bad luck. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't take everything away from a person. There's something called something that he always leaves you a little bit. So the fact that everything, I have bad luck, but how come I'm left with nothing? It's you. You're causing this problem, not me.
Which means it's a good time. If he was left with a little bit in Iowa, then the chocher could tell him.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. We're going to even that point. What about the opposite? The sharecropper, I call him a sharecropper, it's easier for me. The farmer guy, the chocher, everything he touches turns into garbage. And in addition to that, everybody else's fields also went five this year. And then including this field. We have the side of the Gemara that if most of the valley went, so you can get his money back. Since his own stuff is no good everywhere, so it's your luck, your bad luck. Says the Gemara, the Baal Bayis tells him, look, you have bad luck. Everybody around you also no good? No, it's your luck. Says the Gemara, at least, like you said before, I have nothing. The owner tells him, you have a if, in fact, you should have had something left, it should have been left from your stuff, not from mine. Anyway, I see that you have bad luck. Tais just makes a nice observation here. He says the difference between the two cases of Nishtatu Kol Sadeish Choicher and Nishtatu Kol Sadeish Machkir, that in the Machkir case, when he's coming, he says, Hashem should have left me something. He's looking at the Choicher and saying, Hashem should have left me what you owe me, the cash that you owe me. Forget the fields. Hashem left me, a reserve of cash through you that you owe me. Okay, so that's why it's slightly different, the two cases. Says the Gemara.
The sharecropper just from the same logic you said before. You should have davened. You didn't daven for your fields. Well, it's not on me.
Oh, so anyway, I think all from what you see here, since when does davening come into halacha? Right.
Yeah.
So davening is like a very, almost a lame excuse sort of thing, but it works enough so I don't have to return your money that you owe me. Kind of thing, but not really to go after somebody and take his money out of his pocket. Kind of thing. I could have davened, but in this case, because I say you and you didn't do what you're supposed to do, and you broke the rules, I'm not going to return what is already mine. You owe me rent. We had a deal, and you didn't keep your deal in terms of we discussed you're going to plant wheat and then you planted something else. Okay, so we're using a funny excuse of tefillah. Not funny, but it's not. We never see a halacha. Where does tefillah come into play in halacha? Meisvei. We're talking about something called zdei achuzah. Zdei achuzah, not to be confused with, but there are chayma, similar halachas. But if you inherited a field that came all the way from Yeshua ben Nun, Yeshua ben Nun said, "This is your land. This is your family's land." You go and you sell it to somebody. You have the right to redeem it, but you have to wait 2 years. In those 2 years, you can never take it back, even if the guy agrees and pay him the whole thing. You can't take it back. Now, what if during those 2 years, the guy couldn't grow anything on his field? You couldn't grow anything in the field. So, those 2 years don't count. Why? Because the Torah says, if from those 2 years, we have some sort of calamity, or even Shemitah where you can't grow anything, was years, like the Batzaris of Eliyahu, there's nothing growing. It doesn't count. Katani, but the Gemara proves from here, in the same line as Dumi Deshanim Kishnei Eliyahu. Mashnei Eliyahu, do they have a tool klal? No one had crop in Eretz Yisrael. Avachanami, do they have a tool klal? So it's not that in your neighborhood nobody has. It's about all of Eretz Yisrael. No one has. But if there was a crop growing down the block in another city in Eretz Yisrael, why are you telling me Makas Medina is enough that the 4 fields around you? Says the Gemara, it goes by the years of Tfuah. It's years of produce, not just your neighborhood. So why do we say that on Shemitah doesn't count as one of the 2 years? You have to give the guy 2 years of producing, and then you can redeem your field. You go to Chutz La'aretz, they grow wheat in Chutz La'aretz. As long as you tell me, in the world, there has to be Tfuah in the world. Why? Because it says Shnei Tfuos. Okay, so there's Tfuah right over there in another country. It says Gemara, Amarlei, Shvius Afkata de Malkehi. We don't look at Shemitah even as a year. It's not even there. It's like HaKadosh Baruch Hu took it out of the picture. It's not there. There's a machlokes between the Mabit and the Beis Yosef. On Shemitah, if somebody says, I don't care about Shemitah. He lives in Eretz Yisrael, I don't care about Shemitah. Do not come into my field. You come into my field, I'll shoot you. Are you allowed to come into this field and take stuff? So, it's based on this Gemara that Shemitah is Afkata de Malka. You don't have permission. Here, the king, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he decided that it's Shemitah and anybody can come to your field. I'll say this Maisa again, why not? There was a guy in Tafshim Mem who heard a lecture about Shemitah and he decided he's going to keep Shemitah. After Shemitah, he realized that part of what he does is he grows wheat and then he takes part of the wheat and he makes seeds for the grain and then he grows it the next year. He didn't have seeds to grow the grain. So he went to the Sochnot. You go to Sochnot and they give you seeds. Because he said, sorry, we don't have for grain. We have celery seeds. He said, what am I going to do with celery? And also they were rotten. Half of them were rotten. Tavshim Mem. So he took the celery, he had no choice. He took it and he planted celery. And of course, what happened? The celery went up in price from $50 a head or whatever it is to $10 because in Europe they didn't have a celery crop and people needed soup. And my son, he became a big millionaire and he bought a Cadillac and they called it the celery Cadillac. Never heard the Maisa? Great. I thought I just said it recently. What? Like a week ago I said it. Okay, great. But nobody remembers. Zog the Gemara.
Can we do Hazara on the stores?
Yeah. Oh, Jonathan, when you come, I don't know how often you come, but when you come, I do Chazara. I know that I usually don't. So it goes like this. There's something called a zechus that you give to the Beis Hamikdash. You give to the Beis Hamikdash. So over there it says that for Chomes Ha'orim, for even 75,000 square amas, you pay 50 shekel for 49 years. In other words, a zechus, by the way, I forgot to mention this, zechus comes back to you regardless, comes back to you by Yovel. But if you want it before Yovel, so you have to pay the Beis Hamikdash a sela, kesef, one sela per year, which seems like a very, very low price for 75,000 square amas. What if you have 24 years left to Yovel? So you pay 24. It goes by the year. It goes by, it's prorated. Great. Ask the Gemara, if Shemitah is Avkata de Malka, Kodesh Baruch Hu took away Shemitah, it doesn't count. So now you have to take off 7 years from the cheshbon of 50. It's 50 shekel, but not for 50 years. It's 42 years. So you have to pay for every year 1.25, whatever the cheshbon is. Alamatnan, you give a sela and a 48th of a sela, a pudya. It should be a sela and a quarter. Since I can use the field for fruit, lay out fruit, dry out fruit, so I'm paying for that year as well. Now, let me just ask you, didn't we just say it has to be years of growing produce? What's this laying out fruit? Says Rashi, when it comes to redeeming from the Beis Hamikdash, it doesn't talk about shnei tfuos. It's just about having a field and using the field. Omar Shmuel. So now we're going back to the sugya of getting a refund for your chachiros for the rent that you paid for the field. When do you get a refund? Is when you try. You have to first try. If you try and it doesn't work out, it's eaten by the grasshopper, then you get a refund. If you sat on your couch and did nothing, and everybody else had a grasshopper problem, you do not get a refund. If you would have done something on the field, the owner of the field who gets rent, who wants a part of that produce, he says, yes, everybody is starving, not me. It won't affect me. I daven, it won't affect me. If you have a shepherd who is shepherding, and he left his flock and he went to the city, does anybody remember? Yesterday we had Reb Hillel Abrams. Yeah? Hillel. Isn't that his name? Not Abramson. Where is he? Right there. Oh, Ashi's here also. Ashi, get over here for a second. I got to talk to you. Come here, I missed you. So Hillel, I asked the question, the Olam didn't know, but Hillel knew both answers. Let's see if you guys could do what Hillel did. What could be the reason that the guy went to the city, leaving a flock there, and we're not going to go after him? He left a whole flock of sheep. Why? Hold on. Good. You know? You weren't here yesterday? Anybody else know besides this kid? What's Jacobs? You learned it in school. I thought if you said you came to Daf Yomi, you know it. Tell people this next time. Ashi, do you know?
No.
You don't know. Oh, time to break during the day, says Jonathan Stefansky. Very good. What else does it say over there? There's a break. Everybody takes a break during the day. 2 for 2, Hillel. Hillel, Chazara. Yeah, what do you say? What's the other one?
Daven. He's allowed to leave for daven.
You got to go to more Daf Yomi Shiurim. That's not the
government.
What?
The government inspectors are going to call
Government inspectors want to coil. Anyways, the other answer is that. Sorry for making you wait. I just want to finish this answer. No worries. The other answer is that he heard the lion coming. He heard a roar and he ran for his life. Ashi,
Yes, sir.
I missed you. And a lot of my jokes, I was saying jokes and the guys weren't laughing. And I needed a little bit of, the soundtrack. But I noticed something. I noticed that during davening, you come here to this mirror over there on the wall, and you look in the mirror to see if your tefillin is straight. You're very makban on it. right?
I try very hard to.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, I got you a gift. It says Ashi over here.
Oh well, thank you.
Here, zoom in. You able to zoom? Ashi. You guys see this?
Amazing. Thank you so
I
much.
missed you.
Miss being here.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same thing being in Shomer Shabbos. Just
No. And then you bring this to Shomer Shabbos here because over there's no mirror.
Yeah.
All right.
You have to ask people.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Sure. Y'all me big time. No. Hill shares this spot over here with him during davening. Amar Shmuel. Where are we holding? I don't even know. Mazar of Sheshes. Roya, yeah. Roya, Shoya, Roya, Vinyacher Balir, Bazev Toraf. And the lion came and destroyed everything. Ubari, I'm sorry. Bazev Toraf, the wolf came and ate the animal. Ubari Vidoras. I don't know if I pointed out last time. I remember I pointed out once. What's the difference between a wolf and a lion? It says Toraf, the wolf was Toraf, Dari was Doras. Anybody who went to safari knows. When a lion kills an animal, it kills it on the spot and eats it right there. It's not scared of anyone. No leopard is going to come and shepherd the lion. When a leopard kills something, it takes the prey and runs for its life. Any other animal does that as well. Wolves, especially, they're weak animals compared to a lion. So they'll kill a sheep and take it somewhere else, drag it somewhere else. So that's what it means. Bazev Toraf, it dragged it somewhere else. Ba'ariv Doras, right there and then, he eats it. You don't say, if the shepherd would have been there, he would have saved the situation. So we have to see. We go to Bezin, whatever, we figure out. Does he have, how strong is the shepherd? How big is he? What kind of weapons? If he could have saved, but he went on his break, or he ran away, then he's chayiv. V'imlav potter, and if not, he's potter. As the Gemara, but according to your logic, the owner of the sheep could say, I have a special thing. I daven for the well-being of my sheep. The pasuk would have been Gam ishari, Gam esadoiv hiko avdecha. Who said this, Rabbi Yisai? David HaMelech. When was his yahrzeit? Yesterday. Then David HaMelech, this is the first time that he appears, that he made an appearance in Klal Yisrael, that he killed Goliath right here in this neighborhood, next to Bet Shemesh. David HaMelech says, I killed Ari. I killed the says the Gemara, Mishum da Amarle, you have his chazis l'tzruchushin lochnis. The shepherd could tell the owner, oh, you're such a big guy. You have nisim like that. Have sirachish lochnisa, the Reb Chanina ben Daisa. Then the nest of Reb Chanina ben Daisa would have happened to you. What happened with Reb Chanina ben Daisa? This is what happened right over here. The Masinize dube bekarnayu. The goats brought wolves on their horns. I say wolves, bedafka, because Rashi says in Tainas Saita also he says the story happened that the goats brought dubim, meaning wolves. Don't know why. That's what he says. Maybe that's what's normal, that the wolves eat the. Okay. So why is the shepherd telling him, if you're such a great tzadik, you would have had such a big nace. Forget me, I don't need to be there. Such nisim would happen that your goats would destroy the enemy, the wolves. Okay. You're right, I'm not such a big tzaddik that a nes gully like that happens to Reb Chanina ben Dois would happen to me. But Linisa Zuta, Chazina, maybe I am enough, I'm roy enough that a shepherd like you with a stick would have chased away these wild animals. Kashya, Daf Yomi Amud Beis, sponsored by Bigger Cup. No, what's the Eric Adelman? Bigger Cup Consulting, and Kidnovations, Kidnovations LLC, in honor of Akiva Simcha Ben Fayga and Lana Devorah Bas Hadassah, who's out of the hospital but needs Refuah. And and something about thank you Yosef for changing the wording every 5 minutes. Okay, we'll get there. Tanachada. Parm Rishon Ushni Azayra. Ushlisha Sein Azayra. How many times does this choicher guy have to try? Only 2 times. After 2 times and he's not successful, he gets his money back. Only 3 times. I want to remind the Olam, I love this chart. It's unbelievable. The generations of Torah over here. Check this out. We're talking about Reb Shimon Gamliel. Who's his son? Rebbe. So father and son are arguing here, and they argue throughout Shas. Is a chazaka 2 years or 3 years? How can Rebbe the Omar between have a chazaka? 2 times is enough a chazaka. So you try twice, you failed, you get your money back. How can Reb Shimon Gamliel the Omar betlazim have a chazaka? Shimon Gamliel says, David, I see you studying the chart. It's Marduk, Hillel and Shimon Gamliel, and it goes. Review the Nisiya later on as a grandson. It's unbelievable. Like Thomas Shatorim and Piyum, Pizera Zariat, Adelman. Shimon Gamliel the Omar betlazim have a chazaka. Fine. Omer Shlokish. Like we said before. You get your money back when you do everything you needed to do, and then the grasshopper came. But you planted it and it didn't grow. You should keep on going and going. You should try and plant again and again. How many times do I have to plant? Until the sharecroppers come and kima is on top of their head. Rabbi Isai, if you understand what it means, look in the art scroll. We are going weiter. There's 2 pages of art scroll here. Meisvei. No, I'm just kidding. Chas v'shalom. We'll never do that to you. Okay. So anyway, yeah. This is like one of the big ones. But I added the fish. I couldn't find the fish. I added the shark plane. I hope you don't mind. I'm serious. I couldn't find the fish. I had like something that would. This is the same cup, the paper cup. That's the dli. It was actually. I have the video. I'll show you the video of how I really. There was a stand. I have no idea where the stand is. I built the stand myself. I painted the whole thing. It was crazy. Back in the day, we used to invest. It goes like this. Rabbi, there's 12 mazalos. 12. What do they call in English? Translate. Mazalos. Fine. Zodiacs.
Symbols?
So there's 12 of them. Now, it takes 24 hours for the mazalos to go, whatever, the sun goes around them, whatever it is. 12 hours, okay? Now, let me just show you this. I need to show you this part. Okay. Here for a second. These are the mazalos, right? Yoshi redid it. Every morning at sunrise, you will see the mazel of that month. So let's say we're talking about Nisan on top. So you see the sheep comes out first. You see the head of the sheep coming out. We're talking about all the way in the bottom, mazel dogim, adar. That means like this. Let's say this is the horizon, right over is the horizon. You're looking down, you're looking at the horizon. All of a sudden, you're going to see fish. A fish comes up. One. Fish, one. Okay, fine. So it comes up like this. Now, it takes 6 hours for this fish to get to the center, right over here. It takes 12 hours to set. 24 hours to come all the way around. So 6 hours is on the top. So let's do the cheshbon. For this to be right over here is 6 hours into the day. We're talking about the sheep. I'll tell you in a second why. 2 hours later, every 2 hours is another mazel. So 2 hours later, the head of the sheep appears. It takes 2 hours for the back of the sheep to appear in the center. Yeah, again, 6 hours for the fish to come here, plus 2 hours for the fish to end, and for the sheep to begin. So that's 8 hours. For the sheep to start and the sheep to end is 10 hours into the day. In the back of the sheep, there's something called kima. So we're going to turn this on. It still works, believe it or not. After all those years in, maybe we should just do it so that people could see. That's the tail end of the sheep. It's a very bright star. So when the tail end, literally, no pun intended. When the tail end is smack in the center, it took 10 hours to get there. From when the fish came up. All this is to say one thing, that he has to plant until Adar. Because in Adar, when the fish starts in the morning, the kima is on Bereshayu on their head, on the top. that takes 10 hours. The only time that happens is in Adar, because in any other month, it starts at a different mazel. It starts at the shar, let's say. So the kima, for the kima to be smack in the middle, takes 10 hours. It's okay, we'll shut it a different time. Fine. We need it for, yeah. Yeah, I don't need it now. Oh, ask Jonathan, why don't we just say Adar? The answer is, says Tosfos, because the crop grows by the sun, not by the Jewish calendar. And Adar is off. Sometimes we're off by a half a month, a full month. You have to stick in a whole month. If you go by the sun, it's exact every year. Every year, that's when the crop grows. So yeah, we will go through this whole thing, but it's one line. If you could look it up, there's a beautiful art scroll explains the whole thing, how it works, and this is a lot better than I explained it. The what Chatzi Tishrei, half of the month of Tishrei, the whole month of Mar Cheshvan. The Chatzi Kislev, Zera, that's when it's a rainy season. Chatzi Kislev, half of Kislev, Teves. The Chatzi Shvat, and half of Shvat, the whole month of Teves. Chayrev, that's when it's very cold. Chatzi Shvat, half of Shvat. Odor, the entire Odor. Chatzi Nisan, and half of Nisan. Kar, that's when it starts calming down a little bit. Chatzi Nisan, half of Nisan. Iyar, the whole month of Iyar. Chatzi Sivan, that's where we are right now. Katzir, that's when you reap it. Chatzi Sivon, Tammuz, Chatzi Av, Kayitz, Rashi just says, why do we call summer in Hebrew, we call it Kayitz? Kayitz means to take the figs out and dry them, the dates, the figs, to dry them out, drying Kayitz, okay, that's when we do it, and we do it in the summer, so the summer is called Kayitz. Chatzi Av, Elul, the half of Av, and the whole Elul, the Chatzi Tishrei, Chayim. Rabbi Yehuda Moinem et Tishrei, Rabbi Yehuda says, from the beginning of the Tishrei, not from the middle, Rabbi Shimon Moinem and Mar Cheshvan. What is it? These seasons, they last for how long? 2 months. You see, half a month here, half a month at the end, and a month in the middle, 2 months. When Reb Shimon says you start from Cheshvan, so we get Cheshvan, Kislev, Teves. Okay, maximum to Teves. So the Gemara says, Ma meikal bekulu Reb Shimon. If the season starts in Cheshvan, okay, so you're going to get, he has to plant all the way to 2 months after Cheshvan, great, you get the Teves. But never said Adar. Where did you get Adar? Reb Papa. Reb Papa gets Adar. Teves Shvat Adar, 2 months later. A guy has to sit and plant and replant and replant and replant for all the way till Adar, until Purim time. Why? Says Gemara, we're talking about wheat product, then it goes. It ends earlier. It ends in Tevis. Where you're talking about beans, you're talking about barley, that you have to go all the way to Adar, because you start later. You don't like mazalis, we're going to something else. Says the Gemara, somebody took a field to plant garlic. Garlic, you need a lot of water. He got it on the edge of the river. Bezuzeh. He did all this for cash. Now, Rabbi Yehuda is the one that says that you don't get any refund if you're paying with cash versus paying with produce. Cash is your problem. It's always the farmer's problem. So then the guys upstream, they diverted the water to their fields, and there's no water left on the bottom for this guy. Also, the Kidnovations. Now, in order to plant garlic, you need a lot of water, and there's zero water. So they came to Rava. This usually doesn't happen that they divert the water like that. That's, even though human beings did it, it's considered a local calamity. Zil nakile, you should get your money back. So Rabban told Rava, and now we learned in the Mishnah, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, in Kiblo Imenu b'Mois, but over here, remember, it says bezuzeh. He was going to pay for it with cash. And Rabbi Yehuda is of the opinion, if you pay with cash, there's no makas medina, ever. You pay with cash, it's the cash, it's your mazel that causes it. You can't say that the bad luck is because of a field, because you're paying with cash. Less the chashle, the Rabbi Yehuda, nobody cares about Rabbi Yehuda. That's not how we pass in halacha. Says the Mishnah. We're going back to choicher. The guy is paying per year a set amount. And he said, I'll give you a whole kur of wheat. But the problem is that laksa, it went bad. The wheat is very, very weak. Okay, there's wheat but bad wheat. The deal is he gets from the wheat that he has. Oh, I just want to show you. First of all, let me just go back. This is the tail end here. He's pointing to the tail. Here's the worker doing the work. When that star is above in the center of the sky, and this, I got to show you this. Yosef found this, I guess. There are 12 mazolos. You're not going to see all of them, but just understand that this is Ari, this is Psula. She's less than 3 years old, it's not a baya. This is a scorpion, this is a keshet, this is Gdi, this is Gli. I didn't have a good. It's still missing a fish over there. We're going to talk about this guy, Tle. I just wanted to show you the sun. And this is the sun. This tennis ball cool. Is the sun. And awesome. Next. Zog the Gemara. You get paid from the produce that your field produced. What if they're beautiful, top grade? Let me get a lesser grade and give you the bad stuff. You give him from what the field produced. He took the guy's field and he said, I'm going to plant a spasta that's food fodder, and instead I'm going to give you barley. Avda aspasta, he did what he was supposed to do, which is aspasta. V'charsha, and then he plowed it. V'zarasari, and then he planted barley to pay the guy. V'laku hanasari, and the barley went bad. So now you hear the shiloh? We said if the produce goes bad, just give him the bad stuff. But the produce didn't go bad. First it was good aspasta, it was really good stuff. The second time around it went bad. Does the owner of the field have to suffer the consequence of the second batch? What should we do? Is it like the Mishnah that you could just give him from the bad stuff? No. What's the connection? In the Mishnah, the field didn't produce at all. Very weak. So you give him from the weak stuff. The field did exactly what it was supposed to do. We spoke about planting aspasta. Now you owe the guy barley. The kabel pardes. There was somebody that took a pardes. Now we said pardes means what? Pomegranate. Over here it means a vineyard. I don't know why. And he said, I'll pay you 10 barrels of wine. Obviously, he was going to get the wine from the vineyard. Talk about uchamra, and the wine spoiled. And that's exactly what it says in the Mishnah, right? I don't think you would come up with this, that it says if the produce that came from the field went bad, give him the bad stuff. Over here, the wine that I got from the grapes went bad. There's no connection. In the Mishnah, it didn't produce. It produced beautiful grapes. And you made wine. Later on, the wine spoiled. That's not the owner's problem. Give me good wine. If the grapes that grew there, they were wormy, or after you made, what do you call them? The bundles of wheat. Sheeps. Imrim. I'll go with Imrim. If they went bad, then Rabbi say you don't, then sorry. Then it is the problem of the owner of the field, and he gets whatever is there. Rabbi say have a wonderful day.